I went to check on my son-in-law that afternoon, expecting nothing more than a simple visit. But what I saw froze me to the core. My wife's car was parked right outside his gate, and the voices I heard shattered everything I thought I knew about my family. Secrets, lies, and betrayals, things no one could ever imagine, were unfolding just a few feet away from me. What happened next changed my life forever, and nothing would ever be the same again. I had always believed that life was straightforward. Wake up, work, come home, sleep, repeat. But life, as I learned that day, has a way of ripping the rug from under your feet when you least expect it. My name is John, and I thought I knew the people closest to me, until one afternoon changed everything. It all started when I decided to visit my son-in-law, Mark. I had no reason to suspect anything, just a casual check-in on him, maybe bring some of Claire's famous apple pie. The sun was low, casting long shadows across the manicured lawns of our suburban Ohio neighborhood. I turned onto Mark's street and froze. There, parked right in front of his gate, was Claire's car. My stomach dropped. She was supposed to be home, making dinner, or watching some mindless TV show she secretly loved. But here she was, at Mark's place, in broad daylight. My mind raced, trying to rationalize it. Maybe she had forgotten something. Maybe she just wanted to drop off a package. But deep inside, something told me this wasn't ordinary. I parked a few houses away and got out, my heart hammering. The air was crisp, the faint scent of autumn leaves filling my senses. As I approached the gate, I heard voices. Low, intimate, the kind that sends chills down your spine. "Are you sure this is the right thing?" Mark's voice asked. I just need to know he's okay," Claire replied, her voice quivering. My heart stopped. They were talking about me. "I can't keep lying to him," Claire continued, tears in her voice. "He deserves the truth. You think he can handle it?" Mark asked cautiously. "Does it matter?" She snapped. "He's my husband. He has a right to know. Right now!" I stumbled back, gripping the gate as my knees weakened. The truth? What truth could she possibly be hiding? My mind spiraled with questions, each one more painful than the last. I needed answers, and I knew I had to confront them. I walked back to my car, pretending to leave, but my eyes never left the gate. When I finally decided to knock, the door opened before I could even raise my hand. Claire stood there, her face pale, eyes wide, as if she had been caught in the act. "John," she started, but I cut her off. "What the hell is going on, Claire?" "Why are you here?" Her voice faltered. I didn't mean for you to see this." "See what?" My voice shook, a mix of anger and fear. Before she could answer, Mark stepped out from behind her, his face ashen. "John, it's not what it looks like. Then explain it to me," I shouted, my hands trembling. Over the next hour, truths were revealed that would forever change my perception of my life, my family, and myself. Betrayals I never imagined. Secrets hidden behind smiles, lies wrapped in affection. Claire confessed things I could barely comprehend. Mark admitted mistakes I couldn't fathom. And I, John, was left in the middle, piecing together a reality I wished I could unsee. The conversation escalated, voices rising, tears falling. Every word was a dagger, every silence a heavier burden. I learned about hidden debts, undisclosed relationships, and manipulations that spanned years. My daughter, my once proud family, was entangled in webs of deceit I had never dreamed of. Hours passed like minutes, each revelation more shocking than the last. I felt my heart pound in my chest, my head spinning. I wanted to scream, to cry, to run, but I stayed. I had to know the full truth. By the time I left their house, the sun had dipped completely, shadows consuming the streets. I drove home in silence, the car feeling heavier with every mile. The house was dark when I arrived, the world outside unchanged, yet everything inside me had shifted. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every memory of Claire, Mark, and the life I thought I had was tainted with doubt. I replayed the conversations, the confessions, the lies. My mind was a storm I couldn't calm. In the days that followed, I watched, listened, and learned more. Secrets that had been buried for years surfaced. Friends and acquaintances who had seemed loyal revealed hidden agendas. I realized that the people we trust most are often the ones capable of the deepest deception. Yet amidst the betrayal, there were moments of clarity. Glimpses of the old Claire, the loving daughter, the kind woman I had married. I saw the struggle in Mark, the remorse, the desire to make things right. And in myself, I discovered a resilience I hadn't known existed. I couldn't undo the past, but I could navigate the present with my eyes wide open. I confronted them again, calmly this time, demanding accountability. Dialogues that had once been heated became measured, precise. I set boundaries, laid down the rules of engagement, and refused to be manipulated further. It was a battle of wits, emotions, and endurance, each exchange leaving scars but also a strange sense of empowerment. Months passed, and slowly the chaos settled into a new normal. The relationships were altered irreversibly, yet some connections survived, stronger in honesty and weaker in pretense. I learned to accept the imperfections, the hidden truths, and the uncomfortable realities of human nature. Through it all, one lesson became crystal clear. Life rarely goes according to plan, and those we think we know best may hide entire worlds behind their smiles. But the human spirit, mine included, has a way of enduring, adapting, and even thriving in the face of the most shocking revelations. That summer, I changed. I stopped taking things at face value. I questioned, I listened, I observed. I became John 2.0, not naive, not blindly trusting, but perceptive, vigilant, and unafraid to confront the uncomfortable truths of life. And as I stand today, looking back on that fateful afternoon, I realize that what I discovered was not just about Claire or Mark, it was about understanding the complexities of trust, the fragility of appearances, and the resilience of a man who refused to be broken by betrayal. Life had revealed its darkest corners to me, but I had faced them. I survived, I learned, and I was stronger for it. From that day forward, nothing would ever be the same, but I knew I could handle it. Because the truth, no matter how painful, is always better than a comfortable lie. I thought the worst was behind me. I believed that after confronting Claire and Mark, after hearing confessions I never imagined, life could settle into a semblance of normalcy. But the universe, as I learned, has a perverse way of testing your endurance, of pushing every nerve to its limit. My name is John, and the days that followed would make me question everything I had ever known. It started on a quiet Tuesday morning. The kind of morning that fools you into thinking the world is safe, predictable. I was having coffee in my kitchen, the sunlight casting warm streaks across the counters, when my phone buzzed. An unknown number. I hesitated before answering, a foreboding sense crawling up my spine. "John?" A familiar, trembling voice whispered. "It was Claire." "Claire? What's wrong?" I asked, my heart tightening. There was a pause. Then, I need to tell you something. Something I should have told you months ago. I leaned against the counter, gripping my mug as if it were a lifeline. "Go on." She hesitated, then spilled a secret so shocking it made my hands shake. It wasn't just about hidden relationships or financial betrayals this time. There were lies that involved people I trusted, things that reached far beyond my family. My mind reeled as she recounted incident after incident, each revelation darker than the last. By the time she finished, my kitchen felt like a cage, the walls closing in. I couldn't believe the depth of deception, the web of manipulation that had entangled my life. And the worst part? Some of it was my fault. I had trusted blindly, assumed the best, and ignored the faintest hints of danger. I needed answers. I had to see for myself. I drove to Mark's house, the familiar streets now feeling alien, sinister. The leaves crunched under my feet as I approached the gate. I heard voices again, Mark and Claire, but this time they were arguing. "Tense, heated, dangerous! You can't keep doing this," Mark snapped. "It's tearing us apart." "I didn't ask for any of this," Claire yelled back. "I'm trying to protect everyone." I stepped forward, clearing my throat. Both of them froze, turning to me with expressions I couldn't read, guilt, fear, maybe relief. "John." Claire started, but I cut her off. "Enough. I need the truth, all of it, now." What followed was an hours-long confrontation, emotions spilling over, secrets laid bare. Mark admitted dealings I never suspected. Claire confessed choices I would never have imagined she could make. And in the middle of it all, I found myself evaluating not just their actions, but my own. Every decision, every lapse in judgment, every ignored sign. By nightfall, the chaos had settled into an uneasy calm. I left their house with a mind racing, heart heavy. But unlike before, I felt a strange clarity. I had seen the worst and survived it. The burden of knowledge was crushing, but it was also liberating. I could never go back to being naive, never go back to taking things at face value. Weeks turned into months. Life outside continued as normal for everyone else, but for me, everything had changed. I observed people differently, listened more carefully, questioned motives. I became perceptive in ways I never wanted to, vigilant in ways I hadn't needed before. Eventually, I confronted the rest of the people involved. The friends, acquaintances, the ones whose loyalty I had assumed. One by one, the full scope of the deception revealed itself. It was staggering, frightening, yet oddly validating. The truth, as brutal as it was, gave me power. Knowledge was now my shield. I also confronted Claire and Mark again, this time with measured precision. We laid down rules, boundaries that would govern our interactions. There were tears, apologies, confessions, but also understanding. A strange equilibrium began to form, not normalcy, but survival. In the end, I realized that life is rarely fair, and people are rarely what they seem. Betrayal can come from those closest to us, but so can resilience. And as I sit here reflecting on everything, I know that I am stronger, wiser, and more alert than I have ever been. Life tested me, stripped away illusions, and exposed truths I could never have imagined. But I endured. I confronted every lie, every hidden agenda, every betrayal, and came out whole. I am John, and this is my reality. A life altered, a mind sharpened, and a spirit unbroken. Nothing will ever be the same, and I am ready for whatever comes next. If you liked my story, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with as many people as possible. Thanks for watching.